Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. Today we'll be talking about what is diabetes. Now this presentation was created by the Diabetes Management Committee at Riverside Free Clinic. Now before we begin, I would first like for each and every one of our members to please introduce themselves.
Hello everyone, my name is Ala Ahmed. I am the Diabetes Management Committee co-officer alongside Eder. I am a fourth year CMDB major at UCR, and fun fact about me is that I like to try new things as well as spend time with friends and family.
Hello everyone, my name is Eder Martinez. I am the co-officer with Allah for the Diabetes Management Committee, and I am a third-year biology major at UC Riverside. A fun fact about me is that I love to bake, especially homemade cookies.
Hi, my name is Nahal Kalkali. I am a fourth-year neuroscience major at UC Riverside. One fun fact about me is that I really like to paint in my free time.
Hi, I'm Samantha. I'm a fourth year education major, and a fun fact about me is that I like to do do-it-yourself projects.
Hi, my name is Sami Ahmed, and I'm an incoming fourth year biology major at UC Riverside. My hobbies include uploading videos onto my YouTube channel about the Lakers and writing songs.
Now that you guys have met the Diabetes Management Committee team, let's begin the presentation. We will begin by having Sammy explain what is diabetes.
A wide array of people from different backgrounds live with diabetes. To further understand diabetes, it is important to learn about the common terms associated with the disease. Diabetes is a disease where the amount of glucose or blood sugar is above normal in the blood. Glucose is the main source of our body's energy and comes from the food we consume. Glucose also travels to all the cells through our body's bloodstream. The pancreas is an organ in our body that makes insulin. Insulin is the hormone that helps regulate the glucose in our bodies. The effect of diabetes is that it makes it hard for our body to regulate the amount of glucose in our blood. The pancreas is either not making enough insulin or our cells are not reacting to the insulin efficiently. Diabetes is often explained via a lock and key mechanism. In a non-diabetic patient, the pancreas, which is illustrated as a key-making factory, creates insulin, which is represented by a key. Insulin allows the door of the cells to open, which ultimately allows glucose to enter. In type 1 diabetes, the pancreas cannot produce insulin, which results in high blood sugar. In other words, due to the lack of insulin, glucose is unable to move into the cells, which results in high blood sugar. Type 2 diabetes is the most common form of diabetes. This occurs when the body is unable to efficiently use insulin and/or the pancreas does not make enough insulin. Moving forward, the symptoms and effects of uncontrolled diabetes include high blood sugar, fatigue, blurry vision, wounds not healing, thirst, frequent urination, nausea, sudden weight loss or sudden weight gain, and always hungry. As mentioned previously, insulin normally regulates the sugar in our body by pulling sugar from the blood and putting it in the cells for use. However, for an individual with diabetes, the pancreas produces very little to no insulin. Left untreated, the lack of insulin results in high blood sugar, which leads to complications such as sore feet, kidney failure, heart disease, or eye disease. To further understand the significant impact that diabetes has on an individual, it is important to learn about the facts and figures associated with the disease. According to the International Diabetes Federation, 1 in 11 adults within the ages of 20 to 79 years have diabetes, consisting of a total population of 463 million people. It is important to further spread the awareness of diabetes, as 1 in 2 adults with diabetes are undiagnosed, which totals to 232 million undiagnosed people.
Thank you very much, Sammy, for helping us understand more about diabetes. Now we would like to transition into ways we can control diabetes when being a diabetic or pre-diabetic. To begin with, we would first like to cover portion control. A serving size or portion size is the amount of food and drink that is recommended and generally served anywhere you visit. However, sometimes we may go over the recommended portions due to not feeling full, and thus eat more, which may lead to health complications such as weight gain in the future. In order to combat this, we would like to introduce our patients with the plate method. The plate method is an easy way to control portion sizes for each food group, helping you to live a healthier life. The plate method suggests to divide up your food groups in the following ways. Half of the plate should consist of non-starchy vegetables. Some examples of non-starchy vegetables are broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, carrots, salad greens such as lettuce, romaine, and spinach, and of course we can't forget about our fruits such as apples, strawberries, blueberries, and much more. In addition to this, it is recommended that a quarter of your plate should contain lean protein-based foods. Now there are many foods that fall into this category, but to name just a few, fish such as salmon, albacore tuna, tilapia, and cod are great sources of protein for your body. In addition, poultry such as chicken and turkey are great sources. However, we do recommend limiting the amount of skin being consumed by these meats in order to help lower cholesterol and have a less saturated meal. Lastly, the remaining quarter portion of your plate should be dedicated to starchy grains and starchy vegetables. For example, this includes grains such as brown rice, noodles, beans, lentils, potatoes, breads such as wheat, and much more. The plate method is a great way to help us keep our portion control in check. In addition, it helps us learn more about the foods we eat and may help us learn new ways to prepare these foods. We want to emphasize that you can eat what you want, but not as much as you want. In the next couple of slides, Nahal will help us understand what foods are important to eat and what foods are important to avoid.
So, what should we eat? You should try and eat fruits and vegetables. Usually, you could get it fresh or frozen or canned. Try not to get any sugar or salt added to it. Milk and yogurt is really good. Also try to get it low in fat with no added sugar. Proteins are really good. Lentils such as black, pinto, or fat-free refried beans. Whole grain foods such as cereal, popcorn, brown rice, whole wheat flour, those are really good. And also good fats that have unsaturated or polysaturated fats, such as avocados, omega-3s, olive oil, olives, seeds, and nuts. So what should we try and avoid? We should try and avoid sugary drinks such as sodas and juices and sport drinks and sweet teas even. We should try and avoid some bad fats such as saturated and trans fats that have added sugars and salts, and also high caloric snacks such as chips, cookies, and cakes. It's fine, but try and eat it in moderation and try and avoid these, especially salt. Now, in order to figure out which fats are good and all that, we need to be able to learn how to read a nutrition label. So there's 5 simple things in order to read a nutrition label. So I've color-coded them here. So first, you're gonna go and check the serving size and try and figure out how much is in one serving size, because sometimes they show you how much is in more than one serving size, so be sure to check and see that it's one serving size. Secondly, check the amount of calories per one serving size so that you know how many calories are in each serving size. That's in the black right here. And then in the green, we see try to limit these nutritions, the total fats, the saturated fats, and the trans fats that we talked about, and the sodium and cholesterol. Try and not have these as much. Try to have them limited. And then in the blue, we see these nutrients. We want to get enough of these. These are really good and really healthy and important. They're the dietary fibers, vitamin A, C, calcium, iron. And then on the purple here, these are the percent daily values. So it tells you how much percentage you should have in your daily consumption. So usually if it's 5% or less, that's kind of low, and 20% or more is high. So you kind of want the Goldilocks, the in between. So now that we know what foods are good to eat and what we should try and avoid and how we're able to read a nutrition label, some fun things to do to keep us in control of our diabetes is to exercise. So we should exercise at least 150 minutes a week. You could space that out and build it up however you want. You could do 20 minutes one day, an hour another. Just an average of 150 minutes would be good. You could do that while dancing, walking, gardening. You could even follow YouTube videos, do an online gym class, but make sure to be safe and carry a snack and water and have the right shoes so you're comfortable and safe. A good thing to do is to log both your exercise and your diet and meal plans. There's a lot of free apps, journals, papers, and notebooks app on your iPhone that you could use, and be sure to count your calories because that's important. Now I'm going to pass it on so that Eder can continue talking about tips for a better diet.
Thank you very much, Nahal, for those fantastic tips. Now we would like to discuss what are some ways we can adopt a healthier lifestyle with respect to our diet. First, we recommend avoiding eating late at night. When food is consumed late at night, outside a person's typical sleep or wake cycle, the body is more likely to store these calories as fat, therefore making you gain weight rather than burning it as energy for your body. In addition, eating late at night can cause higher levels of blood sugar, which can increase the risk for chronic diseases. You should aim to make your last meal or snack to be before 7 or 8 p.m. Next, we recommend finishing the day with green tea. Green tea is considered one of the world's healthiest drinks and contains one of the highest amounts of antioxidants of any tea. There are natural chemicals called polyphenols in tea that are thought to provide its anti-inflammatory and anti-carcinogenic effects. In addition, it can help your metabolism by increasing the amount of antioxidants in your bloodstream, therefore helping you boost your metabolism. Now, one of the most important tips we would like to discuss is spreading out your meals throughout the day. It's beneficial for your metabolism to eat 3-portion meals, those being breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with healthy snacks in between each one. The reason we recommend this is because when eating only 2 meals a day, we tend to eat more than we should for those meals, which may cause weight gain as well as have a negative effect on metabolism. If we eat 2 times a day, our body will begin to think that we will not have access to food throughout the day, therefore causing our body to store the food as fat rather than burning it for energy. This may cause us to feel hungry and may even have an effect on our mood. Lastly, we recommend to avoid watching TV when eating. If we eat as we're watching TV, our body will begin to make this a habit. Therefore, whenever you sit to watch your favorite movie, sports team, or show, we will have the urge to eat something even though we aren't hungry. By avoiding food consumption when watching TV, we'll be able to adopt these habits subconsciously, making our overall health better. Now, here at Riverside Free Clinic, we understand that it may be difficult to eat healthy. For example, you may think that eating healthy is expensive, time-consuming. You might be unfamiliar with what foods are considered healthy versus unhealthy, and you might have limited access to certain resources in your area. However, here at Riverside Free Clinic, we aim to help your needs and answer your questions to overall help you live a healthier life. Therefore, on this following slide, we have provided you with different resources in the Inland Empire where you can get access to free or low-cost foods, as well as more information on diabetes. The first 3 resources are websites and locations you can visit to get access to different food pantries and food fairs that hand out free food on certain dates at select locations. Our 4th resource is an organization that aims to strengthen community programs and services for the prevention and management of diabetes. They host various events and services to help the community prevent the onset of new diabetes cases and the long-term complications of the disease. And well, that brings us to the end of the presentation. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to communicate with us or drop a question in the comments below. In addition, please check out our Instagram, Facebook, and website for future clinic news, such as dates and information on different committees and services we provide. On behalf of the Diabetes Management Committee and Riverside Free Clinic, we would like to thank you for joining us today, and we hope that you learned something new.